Lord, what's up, y'all? Okay, so, oh, child, it's hot out there, and I ain't going out there right now. So, I was gonna sit in here and talk to y'all about something. So, a while back, somebody asked me about seeds and where was a good place to get seeds, and I think I might have kind of mentioned in the comments, but I figured I'd do a video and kind of talk about seeds and stuff the most. I mean, in this video, I don't know what child what didn't come over me. Um, okay, y'all. So hope that TV ain't too loud. I'm up in here watching the Olympics. So anyway, uh, seeds. So usually where I get a lot of my seeds from, I don't buy a ton of seeds anymore. When I first started, I did used to buy quite a few seeds. I don't buy a ton of seeds anymore. A lot of the stuff that I'm growing, a lot of times other people that I watch on YouTube are growing those things. So a lot of times really that's where I start. I usually start by either asking those people, or some of these people that I watch have Etsy stores. Like Humble Servant Homestead has an Etsy store. Backyard Farmer Pat has an Etsy store. And I'm gonna do my best to put the links in the description so that you can go these places and find the stuff. Um I've never bought seeds from her, but Homestead Heart is selling seeds. Um, and I just haven't bought any seeds, not for any reason. I just hadn't bought any. It's no particular reason why. I had really, to be honest, I hadn't bought a lot of seeds this year. I bought, I think, one pack of Roselle. I think. Um, I did buy the Callaloo. That's a mistake I had bought. See, I bought the Callaloo seeds because the first set of seeds I sold was a no go. Um, but yeah, so that's usually where I start. I start with other YouTubers if I at least ask, and sometimes they don't have any seeds, or they're not willing to sell you or give you any seeds or whatever. So then where do you go? Um, like I said, I'll go to Etsy stores. Oh, Dan, Permaculture Food Forest, he has Etsy store too. I bought from him too. Um, so that's where I usually start. And why do I start there? It's usually because these people have videos and they can already show you what's growing. And if these are seeds that they're saving themselves, which usually they are, I know when Humble Servant Homestead and Backyard Farmer Pat and Dan's uh, permaculture, I know when they selling their stuff, cutting seed, that stuff came out their garden, that stuff they personally saved. You can kind of get an idea already of what you're growing. I've never been led astray when I got stuff from them. Um, Now that's just my experience. I haven't heard any negative experiences really from anybody else either, to be honest. So then when that doesn't work out, you say, well, where do I go? Um, at that point, I have certain seed companies that I buy from. Now I want to caution you, be sure that you careful who you get seeds from online. Some of these people in places is unscrupulous. You want to make sure that you want to make sure that you're getting seeds from somebody who's at least halfway reputable. And sometimes it's hard to, because I bought seeds before and they're supposed to be something, and they're not what they claimed they was gonna be. It was something totally different. So I've even had that happen to me. But one of the companies that I really like to get seeds from is True Love Seeds. One of my subscribers actually uh, turned me on to them, and what I like about them is they have a lot of different collections. Like they're one of the few seed companies that I know that actually has collections, like culturally appropriate collection. Like they have a African diaspora collection. And so you might ask, well, what is that? So in that collection of seeds, you'll find a lot of things that are culturally important, or um, culturally important to anybody in the African diaspora. So you'll find a couple of different callalus, you'll find cowpeas, you'll find okra, you'll find peanuts, you'll find greens, you'll find things that culturally, traditionally are in various different African diasporan food pathways. So if it's something, different peppers, they got a lot of different peppers in there that the diaspora, like a lot of those seasoning peppers that I'm growing, those are in that collection. And I'm leaving out certain stuff, different herbs. They have different African herbs, different herbs that come from other places, not just Africa, the Caribbean, and different places like that. So um, they have all those things in there. They also have an Asian diaspora collection. They have different foods and plants and things that are culturally appropriate to various parts of Asia. If I'm not mistaken, they have a European one as well. Same thing. Things that are culturally appropriate. So if there are different dishes you want to try, or you want to try growing something that you've never grown before, or if you want to grow something that's culturally appropriate for your culture or somebody else's culture that you may know, um, you know, you can go there and easily click on those collections and find what you want. Um, I will say this: the seeds packs tend to be just a touch higher. You're usually going to pay anywhere from $4 to $5, but they're not as big a seed company as some of these other seed companies. But I've never had a problem with any of their seeds germinating or anything like that. I've never had a problem with it. Never had a problem getting my shipment. They do support a lot of smaller farmers and a lot of smaller ethnic farmers as well. A lot of their farmers are, look just like me. So, you know, it's important to me to, try to give to companies like that, and who are open and honest about embracing different cultures, instead of, just because, like, for instance, yeah, can you get some of this stuff on Baker Creek? Yeah, but you got to search for it a certain type of way. You get what I'm saying? And if you don't know what you're searching for, you can miss some of these things. Oh, gonna be some track and field today. Okay, y'all don't pay me no mind, child. If y'all didn't know, I do enjoy sports and competition quite a bit. So the Olympics is one of my favorite sporting events. So anyway, so let me see what else. Lord, her name Thelma. Lord, I haven't heard nobody named Thelma in years. Anyway, Shakira's running. For those that don't know, Shakira's from my hometown. She went to the same school as my cousins. Now, she's much younger than my cousins, but they graduated from the same high school. Anyway, so yeah, back to the seeds. So True Love Seeds is that's the place where I start. I do like So True Seeds, SOW True Seeds. I like them. I like Southern Exposure. Um, I'm trying to think who is somebody else. When I buy onion sets and stuff, I usually use Dixondale Farms. I have bought seeds from Amazon and eBay before. My best recommendation on those is to, especially on eBay, look at the feedback. And if they have, like, if they sell a lot of different seeds, and if you find that the feedback um, is favorable, y'all excuse me, I don't have my selfie stick with me. If you find the feedback is favorable, then, um, give it a shot. But understand that sometimes, now most of the time, the seeds and stuff I've gotten from Amazon and eBay are okay. But every now and again, you find things that, they got you. You know what I mean? So, bear that in mind. If you're weary of that, then don't fool with them. I had bought a bunch of pepper seeds from, I'll have to put the link down below. I don't remember it, but this particular site, they pretty much specialize in peppers. They had a few melons on there, but it mainly was peppers that they were selling. But I can't think of it right now. Chili something, I don't know. I have to find it again. But I bought a bunch of peppers. They had some peppers that actually were very rare and hard to find, but I had no issue buying from them, and the peppers came quickly and they were packaged very well and stuff like that. I'll put the link below for those. So let me think, is it anything else? Any other companies? But like I said, it's a ton of other companies out here. These are the companies that I have dealt with and had, these are the companies that I have dealt with and have had success with. Okay, Shikari. Okay, she done won that heat. This is the heats. It ain't nighttime. You know, the good track and field is in prime time. Anyway, this is the preliminary heats. Anyway, y'all probably like, we didn't turn on you to watch about some sports. I know, I'm sorry. But yeah, child, it's a million places to get seeds. And also let me tell you, let me talk brick and mortar stores right quick about these seeds. So I have bought seeds from Dollar Tree, Walmart, Lowe's, Tractor Supply. I bought seeds from a lot of these different brick and mortar stores and things like that. So you can also get seeds there. Let me say this. When I first started my garden, all my seeds came from Dollar Tree. Those are little 25-cent seeds. You get 4 packs for $1. If you just starting a garden and you don't have a lot of money, I swear by those seeds just to get you started. You sometimes, depending on what the seed is, you don't get a whole lot of seeds in the pack. But y'all, sometimes if you have to concentrate on, get you 2 or 3 good plants, and then get your harvest, and then save. You can save a bunch of seeds. If you grow that plant, you're gonna get more seeds. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you grow 1 bean plant, bush bean, you can harvest off that sucker 2, 3, 4 times, and that last go round, let all them go to seed. You're gonna have more seeds than what you even started out with, and that's just with 1 plant. Now imagine if you did that with 3 or 4 plants. That's your seeds. You won't have to buy those seeds anymore. I do kind of want to touch on this just a little bit. You hear people saying, oh, well, this is an heirloom, or this isn't that and that, and I can't save the seeds. That's erroneous. That is not the case. If you have an heirloom, okay, I'm going to try to break this down to where even, to where anybody can understand. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, so if you have an heirloom seed, so those are seeds that the genetics are known, they're set. Like, say you have an heirloom tomato, like let's take Cherokee Purple. We'll just take that one. Let's say you have a Cherokee Purple and you're growing Cherokee Purple, but let's say you're growing a bunch of other tomatoes out in your field or wherever you're growing your stuff. Because of the way tomatoes specifically pollinate, because their flower is more or less closed, you can grow 1 million tomatoes and they 9 times out of 10 are not going to cross. Because if you go on YouTube and you look up a video on how to cross tomatoes and breed them, you actually have to rip off the little yellow part of the flower and make the reproductive parts, the pistils and the anthers. You have to rip off that yellow part to expose them and then get some pollen from another tomato and put up in there. Tomatoes, because of the way the flower is made, they don't easily cross, okay? That's not the case for peppers. That's not the case for melons. That's not the case for cucumbers. That's not the case. If you grow a bunch of those, flowers are wide open and you can see their reproductive parts if you look up in there. That's why you can take a melon and hand pollinate it, a cucumber and hand pollinate it, a pepper and hand pollinate, because their reproductive anthers and the pistils of the flower are exposed, okay? So why am I telling you this? Remy, what you doing? The dog over there, y'all. I'm babysitting my neighbor's dog, so I come over here and clearly make YouTube videos. But we were playing earlier. She's chewing on her bone. Anyway, but like I was saying, even if you have an heirloom pepper, let's say you have an heirloom pepper. I can't think of one off the top of my head right now, but take one and you grow 45 other peppers in your yard, close proximity to each other. When you save seeds, if you've had bees or anything else out there, that pepper may have crossed with something else in your yard. So when you grow out those resulting seeds, you are not going to have that exact pepper. It probably will be close, but it may have genetics from other peppers. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. If you want to make sure that you isolate those genes and you get exactly that pepper, you need to take a couple of flowers and hand pollinate it to itself, and take all the petals, those white petals on the pepper. If the pepper is white, like you could have a pepper with purple flowers, take all the petals off. That way, so petals are used for bees to be able to see flowers. That's why there's so many different colors. If you take those white petals off, 9 times out of 10, the bee will not be attracted to come over there. Or you can put an organza bag on. What I'm saying is you have to isolate it to keep the bees off of it, to make sure that the bees don't bring any pollen from somewhere else. Mark that one. That's going to be your one that's actually true. Same thing with watermelons. If you want to do the same thing, you have to come out early enough. Hand pollinate what you want. Put an organza bag over that flower so that the bees cannot get to it. Let that melon fruit set, and then, some kind of way mark that melon so that you know that, okay, this is the one the seeds are going to be true. All these other seeds may be crossed. You see what I'm saying? So now back to what I originally was saying, because I had to give you some context so you understand where I'm going with this. This is why when people say, oh yeah, you just save your heirloom seeds. Yeah, you can, but that's not foolproof, because you may have grown 45 different squashes. That squash ain't gonna be true to what you grew originally. That doesn't mean it's a bad seed, and it doesn't mean don't save it. Just know in your head and understand that when you plant that seed, it's not going to be, it may or may not be true to what you originally planted, but you may get something superior. Because if you look at David the Good, his son did a project where he just grew watermelons, all these random varieties, Charleston Grays and all these varieties, and just let them all cross. He didn't mark nothing. He let the bees just pollinate them and let them all cross. Those are considered hybrids. When you have people out here hooping and hollering talking about hybrids, those, when he regrew those the next year, those were considered hybrids. That's why when people have all the hybrid this, hybrid, ain't nothing wrong with hybrids. It depends on how they done. Hybrids can happen naturally out in the field. He took those seeds, and year after year, he continues to grow those seeds. I forget how many pounds of watermelons David the Good said they're getting now. And I wish you could see the watermelons, how vigorous the vines are, how many melons they get. Now, they get different types of melons, different sizes, different characteristics, all this different. But what difference do it make if it tastes good? Y'all tell me, do you really care what the melon look like, or are you more worried about what it tastes like? Because I'm worried about what it tastes like. I could care less about what it look like. I care less about the size. I care less about any of that. What do it taste like? Do it taste good? And if it tastes good, I'm good. We're not finna have no issues. You see what I'm saying? You can do the same thing with your squashes. You can let a whole bunch of varieties of squashes cross. Though the genetics will get better and better year after year. They'll acclimatize to your location. All of that. You know what I'm saying? And you may come out with a superior squash. You also could come out with a squash you don't like. It's, but it's experimentation. You see what I'm saying? So my recommendation for that is, when it comes to squash, melons, and things like that, that cross super easy, take a flower and hand pollinate it yourself. Isolate that flower with the organza bag or something that'll keep the bees off of it. Rip all the petals off of it as well. That'll help keep the bees off. But an organza bag is almost foolproof. That'll make sure to keep the bees and stuff off of it, so where they don't accidentally cross it for you after you've hand pollinated. Okay, because when those bees and different bugs have all that pollen on them and they get down in there, they're basically kind of like contaminating what you did. You trying to cross it and make it true to itself. And they've come from another flower with their little pollen sacs just as full, walking all across it, putting that genetics on it too. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I'm saying you want to isolate that flower and then save the seeds. But as far as hybrids go, straight hybrids that you know are hybrids, you can save the seeds from those as well. The thing is, you may or may not get what was originally the plant you originally grew. It may revert back to some of its previous genetics. It may revert to something that may have crossed in your yard, you know, something like that. But I want to caution y'all, you can save your hybrid seeds. Save them. See what you're going to get. Have fun in the garden and experiment. Don't be so locked into a box to where you're like, oh, Lord, I can only save this. I can only save what you can save. Because I got news for you. If something happens and you got some seeds or something, I doubt highly you're going to be talking about, oh, this isn't exactly what I grew, so I can't eat it. When you get hungry, you're going to eat it. You're going to eat that. You see what I'm saying? So I think that's just about it on the seeds. I think. I'm trying to think, is it anything else? If I have an abundance of seeds of something, I will get people seeds if they need them. Understand, you're gonna have to pay me for the seeds. I don't bust people in the head. You know, I don't bust people to the white meat. But yeah, you're gonna have to pay for the shipping. And shipping is not cheap. I don't just ship my seeds in a plain envelope anymore. Too many times the postal service has damaged the envelopes. The seeds come flying out and we don't know where they end up, or the seeds get crushed and then they are no longer viable because you've crushed the seeds down into powder. You know, so I'm sorry, y'all, I don't put my seeds in a regular envelope anymore, so you do have to pay for the shipping. But if you're willing to pay for the shipping, and don't get me wrong, you're going to pay a little of the money is for the seeds, but trust me, I ain't busting nobody in the head, and I give you way more seeds than the seed company. I give you way more seeds. Anybody that done seen a pack of little stuff I get, you gonna get enough seeds to where if you mess up, you got enough times to mess up 5 or 6 times before you be out of seeds. Okay, so but yeah, y'all just try to, and if you know any other gardeners, y'all share and swap with local gardeners around you. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing. When you save seeds, it kind of gives you something to barter with. When you don't have anything to offer anybody, what use are you to somebody? You see what I'm saying? When they say, I want to be the lender and not the borrower. You see what I'm saying? You have to have something to lend. That's another reason why you ought to start saving your seeds. Sometimes people will trade with you and won't even charge you. You get what I'm saying? Or you have something, but when you always coming to the table and you don't have anything, you forever begging, well, you need to have some money to go with that begging. Because ain't nobody going, you know, nobody's entitled to give you anything. And sometimes you get lucky and people will just give you stuff. People give me stuff and I'm always surprised at how much stuff I get gifted, you know, from time to time. Because trust me, I always offer to pay. I don't never offer for somebody to just give me something. I don't just be around here just begging all the damn time. Now, yeah, I got certain people that, you know, we trade back and forth. But, you know, but that being said, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section. Till next time, see you guys later.